We're going to plan our writing goal for 2026 together, and to make it easily accessible, we're going to use quarterly planning. So grab your laptop or a notebook and a pen, and let's get started. Hey writers, I'm Julia Malone. I'm a teacher and a writer, and almost 3 years ago, I had stopped writing completely for about 2 years. And after researching a bunch of productivity tips and committing to writing for just 5 minutes a day, I slowly built up my routine once again, and now I am writing consistently. And I want you to be able to accomplish your writing goals too. So we're going to go through this whole writing routine together and look at how I'm currently setting goals. So we often tend to set these huge writing goals, and because it feels like a year is so far away, we may take our time, stop working on that goal altogether, and then after the months go by, it's suddenly January again, and we are no closer to our writing dreams. So instead, we're going to break our year into 4 quarters. That's where quarterly planning comes in. We are going to, instead of using an entire year with our giant goal, break that goal even smaller into actionable steps that can be accomplished within 3 months. And this is going to help us because the pressure becomes more immediate, but we don't feel overwhelmed by that giant dream. So here we go. We're going to write down our giant yearly writing goal first. We're only going to pick one because often people say that no more than 3 goals. And if we wanted to set other goals in other parts of our lives, then one writing goal should be manageable throughout a year. So I'm going to start with my big writing goal. And I am in the process of revising a novel from my past, and I've already started it, but it is not going to be completed by the end of 2025. So my goal by the end of 2026, that huge goal, is to complete revisions on my novel. So that's what we're going to write down. Okay, so once you've got that huge overarching writing goal set, we are going to brain dump all the different tasks that we know we need to accomplish to get to that goal. And we may not know everything we need to do right now, but we're going to write down what we do know. So some things that I'm going to jot down in this brain dump are rewriting chapters 12 to 30. That's where I am right now, chapter 12. I need to do some line edits. I want to make sure that my first special reader who reads all of my manuscripts gets it in their hand before the end of the year so I can get their feedback and revise it a second time. So these are some of the things that I am brain dumping on my list. Okay, I'm done my brain dump. My next step is to take those tasks, put them in a logical order, and allocate them to those 4 quarters. So I want to make sure that whatever I put in those 4 quarters can be realistically accomplished within 3 months. And we are always allowed to readjust and change as we go, but this is a starting point. So quarter one, I'm going to start with large form rewrites for the second half of my novel. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, and then for quarter two, I'm thinking I'm going to do some line edits. I'm going to dive really deep into those sentences and phrases and paragraphs. And then quarter three, this is when I'm going to send my manuscript off to my first trusted reader, and I'll use that time to look through another manuscript that she's sent to me so that I can start working on any revisions that need to be done with that one. So I'm giving myself 3 months away from this manuscript, but I'm still getting some other writing done. And then finally, for quarter four, I'm hoping to receive that manuscript back from my friend so that I can add in her feedback. So I'm going to do one final revision of my manuscript after her feedback has been received. Now, some people might think this is a pretty short plan. You're using an entire year to do revisions on your manuscript. I have a full-time job as a teacher. I am a dog mama who is training them, and I've just got a lot going on. And I always found that part of the reason why I did stop writing for 2 years is because I was just too overwhelmed and I felt like I was constantly failing at writing. So I am going slower. I'm taking it easy. If I'm ahead of the game, amazing. I can choose a new goal. If I'm behind, we'll readjust as we get there. So by this point, we have our quarterly plan set out, but we're not quite ready to dive in yet. We're going to focus on a week-by-week plan, and I'm just going to decide what is my goal for this coming week. And the reason I want to do this is to give myself a clear pathway ahead. A week is only 7 days, it's short, so just leaving that quarterly plan as my goal might still be a little too big and overwhelming for me. So this week, I am going to, again, I'm going to do it really small, rewrite chapter 12. That's it. If I get ahead of the game, amazing. If I don't, that's okay. We'll readjust as we get to the end of the week. So what will your weekly goal be based on that overarching quarterly goal? And that's really it. There are so many different ways that you can goal set for your writing. You could do long form journal entries that'll just take you longer, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And part of this routine is actually going to be revisiting my goals on a weekly basis. So come every Sunday, I'm going to reflect on how my week went. I'm going to ask myself what worked well, both in accomplishing the goal and my overarching writing routines. What was tricky? What do I need to change or readjust for next time? And that's where I can dive into that quarterly goal and see if I'm behind, if I'm ahead, and what will come the following week. And a couple gentle reminders before we end: setbacks happen. Having a bit of a flexible mindset around your writing routine and goals is so important. Make sure that you can readjust if you need to. Also, writing should become part of your weekly schedule. Doesn't need to be every day. I don't write every day, but commit to it as you would any appointment or your work. And that way you will be able to make consistent progress towards your writing goal in 2026. So thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm super excited to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what is your writing goal this year? And I can't wait to connect again.